Is this mic working?
She has the iPad. She thought she was doing the service tonight. So, but I did touch that iPad, so I hope I didn't screw up the sound. Because I thought it was just going to.
I'm sorry about the confusion. I thought it said your name on it too, but I could be wrong. Do you want to stay and do the announcements anyway?
She said she could do the announcements, and I'm fine with that.
Okay.
Okay.
All right. Shabbat Shalom, everybody. Shabbat Shalom to those watching on Facebook and YouTube. We'll just wait a few minutes here. Mason, you're going to be the first one who comes up and does part of the service. I'll call you up, okay? I'll do the very beginning. And then Jack will, okay? Jack, you also will be called up to lead part of the service, okay? Just wait a couple minutes. It doesn't matter. I mean, she's just as happy to go do something else. It's fine.
Well, I think she had so much of it on Yom Kippur.
Yeah. And tomorrow.
Oh, okay.
But that's Zoom. All right. Shabbat Shalom, everyone. Cherry bim, cherry bum, cherry bim bum bim bam, cherry bim, cherry bum, cherry bim bam bim bam. I cherry berry berry bim bam, I cherry berry berry bim bam. I cherry 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 bim bam. I cherry berry berry bum. Everyone try it. Cherry bim, cherry bum, cherry bum, cherry bim bam bim bam. Cherry bim, cherry bum, cherry bim bam bim bam. I cherry berry berry bim bam. I cherry berry berry bim bam. I cherry berry berry bim bam. I cherry 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 bum. They're nonsense words. They don't mean anything, right? It's called a nigun, a wordless melody. But even though there are words, they're words that don't mean anything. Like this one, bim bam, bim 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 bam, bim 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 bam, bim bam, bim 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 bam, bim 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 bam. Shabbat Shalom, Shabbat Shalom, Shabbat 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 Shalom, Shabbat Shalom, Shabbat Shalom. Shabbat, 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 Shalom. Shabbat, 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 Shalom. Shabbat, 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 Shalom. Shabbat, Shalom. Shabbat, Shalom. Shabbat, 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 Shalom. Shabbat, Shalom. Shabbat, Shalom. Shabbat, 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 Shalom. See if we still remember this one. It's been a while since we've been together and sung some of these songs. Am Yisrael Chai, Am Yisrael Chai, Am Yisrael Chai, oh, Davinu Chai, oh, Davinu Chai, oh, Davinu Chai, oh, Davinu Chai, Am Yisrael Chai, Am Yisrael Chai, oh, Davinu Chai, oh, Davinu Chai. One more time. Oh, Davinu Chai, oh, Davinu Chai. You remembered, you remembered the motions. We're going to turn to page 120, and Laura, would you like to do the candle blessing on 120? The person who is designated to do it either is late or not here, but we're going to do it now, page 120. I hope one day we can get back to doing the blessings downstairs at a pre-one, but For now, this will have to suffice. Oh, great, you have helpers with you. Excellent. Helpers who I might have gotten very tall since I last saw them. Mason, you don't need to actually hold on to that or bring it down because it picks you up really well right from where it is. We have a whole new sound system. Yeah, we can hear you in the mic right now. Very well. Amen. Shabbat Shalom. Thank you so much, Tanya and family, for leading us in the candle blessing. Shabbat Shalom to everybody. Page 127 at the bottom of the page. We offer thanks, O God, for this Shabbat which unites us in faith and hope together, for Shabbat holiness, which inspires sacred living, for Shabbat memories, glowing even in darkness, for Shabbat peace, born of friendship and love. We offer thanks and blessings, O God. And we continue on page 138 as we join in singing L'chad Odi, just the first verse and the last verse. And when we come to that last verse, we stand and face the entrance of the room to welcome in the Shabbat bride. L'chad Odi, Likrat kala pnei Shabbat nekabla Lecha Dodi Likrat kala pnei Shabbat nekabla. First verse on page 138. Shamor v'zachor b'dibur echad Hishmi'anu el hamiuchad Adonai echad u'shemo echad L'shem u'letiferet v'litilah Lecha Dodi Likrat kala pnei Shabbat nekabla. Verse 9, we stand and face the entrance of the room. Boi v'shalom ateret bala Gam besimcha ubtzola Tochem unei am segula Boi kala Lecha Dodi Likrat kala pnei Shabbat nekabla. And we're seated and we turn to page 140 for Psalm 92, the Psalm for Shabbat. Mizmor shir leyom ha-Shabbat tov lehodot l'Adonai ulezamer l'shimcha elyon ulezamer l'shimcha elyon Mizmor shir leyom ha-Shabbat tov lehodot l'Adonai ulezamer l'shimcha elyon ulezamer l'shimcha elyon Hagid baboker hastecha ve'emunatcha balelot alei asor ve'aleina ve'lalei higayon bechinor Shir leyom haShabbat tov lehodot laAdonai ulezamer l'shimcha elyon ulezamer l'shimcha elyon. And we have Midrashah class on the Bima tonight. This year Midrashah is just 8th graders, and because sometimes it's 8th and 9th. And we're going to call upon the two that are here tonight to lead us in parts of the service. So Mason, would you come up? And you're going to lead us starting on page 145 with an English reading at the bottom of the page, and then you'll stay up here all the way through the Micha Mocha. Okay? Oops, wait a minute. I'll get my guitar out of your way. Ready? 145 at the bottom of the page. Why don't we switch places? There you go. Mm-hmm.
Entrances to holiness are everywhere. The possibility of ascent is all the time, even at unlikely times and through unlikely places. There is no place on earth without the presence.
And on the facing page, 144, you will lead us in Chatzi Kaddish, Yigdal. Yigdal. Nice and loud. Amen. Dira, Kirute, Biamlich, Bechayechon v'yomechon, uvechaye dechol Beit Yisrael, ba'agala, uvizman kariv. Amen. Yehei Shemei Rabban Nevarach, Le'alam ul'almei amaya yitbarach. Berichu le'ela min kol birchata v'shirat tushbechata v'nechemata damiran be'alma. Amen. And we continue on page 146 with Baruch Hu. And I'll play it with the guitar, and you'll come in with the Baruch Hu part. Ya la 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 la. Ya la 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 la. Ya la 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 la, ya la 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 la, ya la 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 la. Baruch Adonai HaMevorach HaMevorach Le'olam va'ed. HaMevorach HaMevorach Le'olam va'ed. And we continue on 148 as Mason leads, and we all join in Ma'ariv Aravim. Ata Adonai Eloheinu melech ha'olam asher bidvaro Ma'ariv Aravim bechochma poteach she'arim uvidvuna mishaneh itin umachalif et hazmanim umisader et hakochavim b'mishmerotehem barakia kirtzono borei yom v'layla golel or mipnei choshech v'choshech mipnei or uma'avir yom umevi layla umabdil bein yom uvein layla Adonai tzvaot shemo el chai v'kayam tamid yamloch aleinu le'olam va'ed Baruch ata Adonai hama'ariv Aravim. And at the bottom of 151, will you lead us in this reading? And we'll do it responsively. Nice and-
Wisdom and wonder, passion and instruction, story and symbol.
All these things your Torah gives to us.
And the more we devote ourselves to it, the more it grows and gives.
What could be a truer token of your abiding love?
Then this holiness of yours, then this holiest of your works, and the living language that gives it form.
Baruch atah Adonai, Ohev Amo Yisrael. Shema Yisrael Adonai Eloheinu, Adonai Echad. 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 Baruch Shem Kevod Mahuto, Le'olam Va'ed. Didn't have you stand, did I? Well, we're seated now anyway. So Ve'ahavta 154. I was too busy working with the microphones. Someday I'll get used to all this new equipment. Ve'ahavta et Adonai Elohecha b'chol levavecha u'v'chol nafshecha u'v'chol meodecha v'hayu hadvarim ha'ele asher anochi mitzavecha hayom al levavecha v'shinantam levanecha v'divarta bam b'shivtecha v'deitecha uv'lechtecha v'derech u'shochbecha uv'kumecha u'kshartam le'ot al yadecha v'hayu letotafot bein einecha uchtavtam al mezuzot beitecha u'visharecha למען תזכרו ועשיתם את כל מצוותיי והייתם קדושים לאלוהיכם. אני אדוני אלוהיכם אשר הוצאתי אתכם מארץ מצרים להיות לכם לאלוהים. Ani Adonai Elohechem. And that page 159, Mason will lead us in the reading there.
So does it start? Oh. Sing the song of men and women. Join in understanding and respect. The song of God's miracles and earth protected and cherished. A gift for our children and the generations to come. The song of a land once ravished by war, now quiet and content. The soldier's home to leave no more. The song of a world redeemed. The song of peace.
And now on the facing page. Ready, Micha Mocha? Micha Mocha ba'elim Adonai, Micha Mocha nedor ba'kodesh, Micha Mocha ba'elim Adonai, Micha Mocha nedor ba'kodesh. Nora tehilot Sefelet, Nora tehilot Sefelet Adonai imloch le'olam va'ed. Malchutecha ra'u v'necha bokei hayam לפני משה ומרים, Ze'elianu ve'ameru, Ze'elianu ve'ameru Adonai, Imloch le'olam va'ed. Ya la 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 la, ya la 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 la, ya la 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 la, ya la 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 la. Baruch atah
Adonai, Ga'al Yisrael.
Shkoach, and you can be seated. Thank you, Mason. It's a long time since we've had kids on the Bima leading services. It's a good feeling. And we are going to continue on page 161, and we're going to call up Jack Gershenson to lead us. Page 161. I'm just going to clip this on you so they can hear you better. I thought it would work by being just on the ground, on the table, but I think that'll be better.
Let there be love and understanding among us. Let peace and friendship be our shelter from life's storms. Adonai, help us walk with good companions, to live with hope in our hearts and eternity in our thoughts, that we may lie down in peace and rise up waiting to do your will.
And together we're going to all sing the Chatimah, the Hebrew on the top of the page there. Baruch atah Adonai haporei sukat shalom, shalom aleinu ve'al kol amo Yisrael, ve'al Yerushalayim ve'al kol amo, ve'al Yerushalayim Shalom, ve'al Yerushalayim ve'al kol amo, ve'al Yerushalayim Shalom. Baruch atah Adonai haporei sukat shalom, Shalom aleinu ve'al kol amo Yisrael. Shalom aleinu ve'al kol amo Yisrael. And we'll continue on 162, and I think you know this version of Vishamru from camp, Jack. Vishamru b'nei Yisrael et HaShabbat, la'asot et HaShabbat ledorotam b'rit olam. Vishamru b'nei Yisrael et HaShabbat, la'asot et HaShabbat ledorotam b'rit olam. V'ni uvein b'nei Yisrael oti le'olam. V'shameru b'nei Yisrael et HaShabbat, la'asot et HaShabbat ledorotam b'rit olam. Ki sheshet yamim asa Adonai et hashamayim ve'et ha'aretz, v'shameru b'nei Yisrael et HaShabbat, la'asot et HaShabbat ledorotam b'rit olam. Vayom hashvi'i Shabbat vayinafash, Shabbat vayinafash, השבת, לעשות את השבת לדורותם ברית העולם. And we continue with Adonai Sifatai as we rise, page 164, for the Tefillah section of the service. Adonai Sifatai tiftach ufi agi tehilatecha. Adonai, open up my lips that my mouth may declare your praise. In 166. Go ahead. Baruch atah Adonai, Eloheinu Elohei Avoteinu ve'imotenu, Elohei Abraham, Elohei Yitzchak, Elohei Yaakov, Elohei Sarah, Elohei Rivka, Elohei Rachel, Elohei Leah, Ha'el Hagabor, Hagibor v'Hanorah, El Elyon, Gomer Chasadim Tovim, V'konei Ha'akol, V'zocher Chasdei Avot v'Imahot, U'mevi Gola l'nei b'neihem, Le'ma'an Shemo be'ahava, Melech Chozer u'Moshia u'Magen, Baruch atah Adonai, Magen Avraham ve'ezrat Sarah. Continue in English with Jack. We're going to do it in English for this service, but I know you know it. 168 together.
You are forever mighty, Adonai. You give life to all. You rain dew upon us. You sustain life through love.
Together, let's read with Jack.
Giving life to all through great compassion, supporting the fallen, healing the sick, freeing the captive, keeping faith with those who sleep in the dust. Who is like you, source of mighty acts? Who resembles you?
A sovereign who takes and gives life, causing deliverance to spring up, and faithfully giving life to all. Blessed are you, Adonai, who gives life to all. Baruch atah Adonai, Mechayeh HaKol. Lead us in that, chanting
Atah kadosh v'shimcha kadosh, u'kedoshim b'chol yom, Hallelujah, Hasela, Baruch atah Adonai, Ha'el
HaKadosh. And we are seated, and we continue on 173 at the top with English.
May these hours of rest and renewal open our hearts to joy and our minds to truth. May all who struggle find rest on this day. May all who suffer find solace. May all who hurt find healing on this day. May all who despair find purpose. May all who hunger find fulfillment on this day. And may this day fulfill its promise.
Baruch atah Adonai, Mikadesh HaShabbat. And now we continue on 175 at the top of the page. The English.
Ever-present one, may we, your people Israel, be worthy in our deeds and our prayer. Wherever we live, wherever we seek you, in this land, in Zion restored. In all lands, you are our God, whom alone we serve in reverence.
Baruch atah Adonai, she'otecha levadecha b'yirah na'avod. And the top of 177.
God of goodness, we give thanks for the gift of life, wonder beyond words, for the awareness of soul, our light within, for the world around us so filled with beauty, for the richness of the earth which day by day sustains us. For all these and more we offer thanks. Baruch
atah Adonai, hatov shimcha ulecha na'eh lehodot. Yeshar koach, you can be seated. Thank you so much. Yeah, leave that here. Thank you. All right, and we continue on 178 as we join in singing Shalom Rav. Shalom Rav Yisrael Amcha Tasim Leolam. Shalom Rav Yisrael תשים לעולם. כי אתה הוא מלך אדון לכל השלום. כי אתה הוא מלך אדון לכל השלום. שלום רב ישראל עמך תשים לעולם. שלום רב ישראל עמך תשים לעולם. וטוב בעיניך לברך את עמך ישראל בכל עת ובכל שעה בשלומך. שלום רב ישראל עמך תשים לעולם. שלום רב ישראל עמך תשים לעולם. תשים לעולם. תשים לעולם. ברוך אתה אדוני המברך את עמו ישראל בשלום. We take this time for silent prayer and meditation. You can find meditations provided in the Siddur on 180 and 181. עושה שלום במרומיו, הוא יעשה שלום עלינו ועל כל ישראל, ואמרו אמן. יעשה שלום, יעשה שלום, שלום עלינו ועל כל ישראל, יעשה שלום, יעשה שלום, שלום עלינו ועל כל ישראל, יעשה שלום, יעשה שלום, שלום עלינו ועל כל ישראל, יעשה שלום, יעשה שלום, שלום עלינו ועל כל ישראל, יעשה שלום, יעשה שלום, Shalom Aleinu ve'al kol Yisrael. We continue with a Mishaberach for those in need of healing. You can find the prayer and the song on page 371. As we say the Mishaberach this Shabbat, we think of congregation members who are in need of healing. Emma Miller, Amit Gershona bat Avraham B'Sarah, Hope Ronsky, Chaya Liana bat Yona Mordechai Ubraina, Dorothy Santeri, Sarah Alexandra bat Avraham B'Sarah, Mary Beth Mikrot, Esther bat Avraham B'Sarah, John Brousseau, Rachmiel ben Avraham B'Sarah, Karen Solomon, Hannah Sarah bat Chaim Eliezer Vihudit, William Jewell, Yisrael ben Avraham B'Sarah, Todd Letman, Shmuel ben Mesha Esther. We also mentioned Jeannie Sefran, Shana Fega bat Raphael Virachel. If there are others you would like to mention who are in need of healing, please do so at this time. Any others? We also pray for healing for those who struggle against addiction and alcoholism, and we pray for courage for those in recovery. Praying for refuah shlema, we join together in singing. Mi shebeirach avotenu הברכה לאמותינו. May the source of strength who bless the ones before us help us find the courage to make our lives a blessing, and let us say Amen. Mi shebeirach imotenu mekor habracha le'avotenu. Bless those in need of healing with refuah shlema, the renewal of body, the renewal of spirit, and let us say Amen. I have a story I want to tell you that has to do with these days between Yom Kippur and Sukkot. We think of these days as times of great shalom or peace, because if we did our work on Yom Kippur, we should feel a sense of wholeness and oneness as the day comes to an end, that we repented for our sins and God has forgiven us. And also because the coming holiday of Sukkot is such a wonderful festive time where we appreciate nature all around us and get together with friends and family and have festive times in our Sukkot. And so it's a holiday of peace as well. Well, this story takes place right in that period between Yom Kippur and Sukkot, back a long, long time ago in Eastern Europe in a place called Chelm. And this place called Chelm at one time had two clans of people. They'd like two families, but they weren't just like families that live in a house. They were clans. They were kinds of relatives. One on this side, one on that side. And their names were the Cherubins, and the others were the Cherubims. So they were the Cherubins and the Cherubims. And the thing is, they were kind of like the Hatfields and the McCoys. They didn't get along. I mean, we're talking for generations they didn't get along. They just couldn't stand each other. And no one really could remember how the whole thing got started. It was so long ago, but one thing they knew, the Cherubims couldn't stand the Cherubims, and the Cherubims couldn't stand the Cherubins, and they constantly were fighting with each other and arguing over everything, like the land that they lived on and worked in their farms, and they argued about the cows, and they argued about the chickens, and they even argued about the air they were breathing. And when they would come to the synagogue or some other kind of a communal gathering, the Cherubims would sit on this side and the Cherubims would sit on that side, and they'd sort of give each other the evil eye and yell things at each other, and sometimes they would even spit at each other. It was really disgusting. So the rabbi in the community was very troubled by this. Here, between Yom Kippur and Sukkot, is supposed to be a time of peace. He's got this plan. He's got to get these two clans to get together and to be able to be friendly and nice to each other. How is he going to do it? Well, he cooked up a plan. Also at this time of year, in Eastern Europe, it was a time for going into the forest and gathering mushrooms. And everybody would go out on the same couple of days when, they knew the mushrooms were at their best. And they'd take all their baskets and they'd go into the woods. And so Rabbi Kibbutz had a thought. I'm going to invite the Cherubims and the Cherubims to have lunch together, like a picnic with me together in the woods. But I'm not going to tell the Cherubims that I'm inviting the Cherubims, and I'm not going to tell the Cherubims that I'm inviting the Cherubims, and they're just going to kind of find out when they have this festive meal together. So he gets all ready. The rabbi, he's busy with Talmud study and stuff. He's never actually gone into the woods to gather mushrooms before. So, he pulls together, he's sort of nervous. He's got his boots on and his jacket, and he finds some kind of a basket to gather mushrooms, and he walks to the woods, and he gets there, And he realizes he forgot something really important, his glasses. And his glasses are like, that Coke bottle kind, bottom of a Coke bottle. They're really, really thick, and he really can't see a thing without them. So he goes into the forest, and he's like, oh my gosh, how am I going to find the cherubims and the cherry bombs? So he goes up to a group of people, he sort of bumps into them, and he goes, cherubim? And they go, cherry bomb. And then he bumps into another group of people, and he says, cherry bomb? And they say, cherubim. And he keeps bumping into this group of people, and it's always the other thing. He says cherubim, and they say cherry bum, and it's like cherubim, cherry bum, cherubim, cherry bum. And finally, he starts sort of muttering to himself, cherubim, cherry bum, cherubim, bum, bim, bum, bim. And he's getting all confused. And nobody, is getting together for this lunch. And he's just getting completely frazzled. So suddenly, the cherubims and the cherry bombs are watching, like the rabbi kind of go out of his mind. And he's going around going, cherubim, cherry bomb, and he's going around circles, cherubim, bam, bim, bam, bim, bam. It's almost like he's doing a little bit of a dance. And the cherubims and the cherry bombs start laughing hysterically, like, look at this guy. And then they look at each other. The cherubims look at the cherry bombs, and they see something they have never seen before. Each group is smiling and laughing. When they look at each other normally, everybody's mad. And suddenly they were smiling and laughing, and they all just kind of had a great party because it was so crazy and silly. And so they took the rabbi up on their shoulders, and he was like dizzy, and he hadn't really kind of gotten his legs, so they're take him back into town, and all the time he's going, aye, cherry berry berry bim, aye, cherry berry berry bum. And they started chanting with him on their shoulders all the way into the town. Aye, cherry berry berry bim bum bum, aye, cherry berry berry bim bum bum, aye, cherry berry berry bim bum bum, aye, cherry berry berry bum. And finally, they got to Helm, and everybody was shocked. Look, the cherubims and the cherry bombs, they're getting along, they're happy, they're dancing. And so by now, the beautiful sukkah that they always made in the center of Helm had been erected, and everybody came together and had a festive celebration. And Sukkot was finally a time of peace. And not only that, from that day forward, they had a great Shabbat song for every week that went, cherry bim, cherry bum, cherry bim bum bim bum bim bum. Everybody, aye, cherry berry berry bim bum bum, aye, cherry berry berry bim bum bum, aye, cherry berry berry bim bum bum, aye, cherry berry berry bum. You didn't know how that song got created, did you? Well, now you know, and now you'll have, I hope, a very festive Sukkot, maybe even as festive as the one in Helm at that time. We are going to conclude our service with Aleinu as we rise and face the ark, which is the direction of east, turning to page 586. Aleinu l'shabeach la'adon ha'kol, la'tet gedula liotzer breshit, shelo asanu kegoye ha'aratzot, velo samanu כמשפחות האדמה, שלא שם חלקנו כהם, וגורלנו ככל המונם, ואנחנו קוראים ומשתחווים ומודים, לפני מלך מלכי המלכים, הקדוש ברוך הוא. And we are seated as we turn to page 591. ונאמר, והיה אדוני למלך על כל הארץ, ביום ההוא, ביום ההוא, יהיה אדוני אחד, ושמו, ושמו, ושמו אחד. We continue on page 594, and as I read the meditation prior to the Kaddish prayer, I invite those who are observing a yard site on this Shabbat or who have experienced the death of a dear one in recent weeks or months to rise during the meditation. It is a fearful thing to love what death can touch. a fearful thing to love, hope, dream, to be and oh, to lose. A thing for fools this, and a holy thing to love. For your life has lived in me, your laugh once lifted me, your word was gift to me. To remember this brings a painful joy. 'Tis a human thing, love, a holy thing to love what death has touched. On this Shabbat at Beth Hillel Temple, we mark the yahrzeits of Rudolph Mullen, Frida Orleans Jaffe, and Belle Schrager. Zichronam livracha, may their memories serve as a blessing as we turn to page 598 and all rise for Kaddish. Yit gadal v'yit kadash shemei rabah, be'alma divarach yirutei v'yamlich malchutei, b'chayechon v'yomechon v'chayedecho beit Yisrael, ba'agala uvizman kari v'imeru amen. Yehei shemei rabah mevarach l'alam ulamei amaya. Yitbarach v'yishtabach v'yitpa'ar v'yitromam v'yitnaseh, v'yitadar v'yitaleh v'yitalal shemei dekudesha b'richu. La'ela min kol birchata v'shirata, tushbechata v'nechamata, da'amiran be'alma v'imeru amen. Yehei shalom rabba min shemaya, v'chayim aleinu ve'al kol Yisrael v'imeru amen. Oseh shalom bimromav, huya aseh shalom, aleinu ve'al kol Yisrael v'imeru amen. May the source of peace and peace to all who mourn and comfort all the bereaved among us, and let us say. Please be seated. Nicole, would you like to come up and give the announcements? Nicole, this is Nicole's class that's on the Bima, but they haven't started yet. So meet your teacher, Mason and Jack. This is Nicole, and she's also on our leadership council. So 2 days in a row, you get to do the announcements.
That's totally fine. Shabbat Shalom.
Shabbat Shalom.
On behalf of the Leadership Council of Beth Hillel Temple, I would like to extend a warm welcome to all of you who have joined us this Shabbat. Whether in person...
And this is not Laura French, it's Terry.
Okay. Whether in person or via YouTube or Facebook, we thank Terry for working the camera for this Shabbat. Tomorrow morning, Torah study will be held at 9:15, followed by Shabbat morning services at 10:30. Both will be held on Zoom. The opening day of our Beth Hillel, Beit Shevet.
Beit Sefer, Beth Hillel, yeah.
Beth Hillel will be held Sunday. We will also be decorating the sukkah. Join us at 11:30 to beautify our sukkah. Bring gourds, pumpkins, and other decorations if you wish. If anyone has access to branches for the top, please bring them on Sunday before 11:30. Sukkot begins Monday night at 6:30 p.m. The Rev Sukkot family service, weather permitting. The service will be held in the sukkah. Otherwise, it will be held in the sanctuary. Tuesday, September 21st. Temple offices will be closed for the holiday. Join Rabbi Feingold for lunch in the sukkah on Wednesday, Thursday, or Friday of next week at noon. Bring a bag lunch. However, if the weather is bad, we will not have the event. Call the temple after 10 a.m. the day you plan to attend if you're unsure about the weather. Other temple information is found on the temple website, and e-news with current information was sent Wednesday. Shalom.
Shabbat Shalom. I'd just like to say how wonderful both of the boys did. I'm just sorry I didn't have the mic hooked up well enough for Mason, but these guys are getting really close to their bar mitzvahs. Jax is just less than a month away now. 3 weeks. Okay. And Mason, we're going to start our lessons this month for your weekly lessons with me for your March bar mitzvah. So we're very excited for both of you. So we're going to conclude with Hevenu Shalom Aleichem, and you can find the 2 parts to it on the top of 644, because both the Hevenu part and the Hine Matov part are there. Let me just make sure I got that page right. Yes, 644 at the top of the page. and I hope you'll remember the actions to this too. I was thinking about how not only have we not had kids on the beam in a long time, but last time there were kids leading services, it was back there. It wasn't up here, so it has to be like 3 school years ago. That's crazy. Hey, Veinu Shalom Aleichem, Aleichem, hey, Veinu Shalom. Hey, Veinu Shalom Aleichem, Aleichem, hey, Veinu Shalom. Hinei ma tov u'manayim, shevet achim gam yachad. Hinei ma tov u'manayim, shevet achim gam yachad. Oh baby, hey, Veinu Shalom Aleichem, Aleichem, hey, Veinu Shalom. Hey, Veinu Shalom Aleichem, Aleichem, hey, Veinu, Aleichem, hey, Veinu, Aleichem, hey, Veinu Shalom. And we have one more thing to do, and that is the kiddush over the wine. So I'll go over to the little table here with the kiddush cup, and you can all rise and join me, page 123. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam borei peri hagafen. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam asher kitshanu b'mitzvotav v'ratzavanu v'shabbat kodsho v'ahava uvratzon hinchilanu zikaron lema'aseh v'reishit ki hu yom techila l'mikra'ei kodesh zecher litziat Mitzrayim. Kivanu v'acharta ve'otanu kidashta mikol ha'amim ve'shabbat kodshecha be'ahava uvratzon hinchaltanu Baruch atah Adonai mekadesh ha-Shabbat. Shabbat Shalom, everyone. Yasher koach to you, Jack. Yasher koach to Mason.